Hello, trading is closed on May 24th, 2022. Let's start with our disclaimer. It's my trading plan for tomorrow, Wednesday, May 25th. Remember, I can be completely wrong, and any trade one makes should be at one's own risk. Let's go over our calls. We had signals that were mixed. The commonest thing was a gap in the prompt move outside the day's range. We certainly had that. Gap move outside the day's range. Look for the pattern with the early high, which is this. And tomorrow should be the pattern with the early low. We generated a new target from today's patterns, 38.94.93. Unless we gap up smartly, that's my call for tomorrow. It's quite a bit under where we closed, and futures are up even higher. And of course, if we gap up smartly, price is on the table, but not the time. During the day, MeJT said this was a false move, gives us the target. Now here are the DeMark buy signals on the daily chart. The first 3 days after the signals given are pretty significant. If you're going to have a powerhouse rally, you really want to go over the TDST line. There was no chance of that happening, but at least you'd like to see something. Here was bar 13 of the sequential buy signal. 3 bars later, you're under this bar. That's not good. Here's bar 13 of the combo buy signal. 3 bars later, the close is under the high of the bar. So when you really want to get things moving, it's not happening. Doesn't mean it won't, but that isn't the way a powerhouse rally based on DeMark stuff starts. Now, so far today, we just had a 61.8% retrace. It's a commonplace for the pullback to end if we're going to continue higher, but let's focus on what's happened. We still have this down channel, and despite all these buy signals and despite the passage of time, we still haven't broken out over it. Now maybe we will. Anything's possible. Just gave a signal, and so far it hasn't responded. Now, since we gave the signal we had an A and a B, let's look at what could be wave C. You can count 5 waves up for A. Fibs work. You can count an ABC down for B with C equal to A. And it's now possible to count an ABC up with C and A having a fib ratio. Not only that, gold C and gold A have a fib ratio, but more importantly, if you take this first leg up as A, and that's B, C is equal to 0.618 times A right at the high. So it's actually possible to count this ABC from what we call the low. It's possible to count this leg as being over. Furthermore, not just as their wave balance, but we rallied all day long. This is the close. Here's the prior consolidation. We couldn't close over the highs of the prior consolidation. So we broke out over these highs, immediately rejected it, we rallied all day long, and just retraced without overtaking these highs. As of now, that's a rejection of this break. That might change tomorrow, but you really should gap up at least over this high and preferably over yesterday's to invalidate the pattern. Furthermore, all these drops are impulsive, no overlaps, and this rally is overlapping and corrective. So for now at least, this is just a retrace of an impulsive move down. So this isn't the only valid count, but it's a valid count. Here's what we called for a low. We have a expanded flat, and if that's A and that's B, you got an ABC right there. And if that's an expanded flat, the expanded flat doesn't have to be over. This could be just A of an ABC, but it certainly could be over. So despite having a rally from these lows, and despite futures being up, for now at least, this isn't bullish action. It can all change tomorrow if we gap up. That could happen. But for now, it's not bullish. The only bullish thing about today's action is we gapped down, hit a lower low, and closed over all the lows. That's bullish, but the rally so far hasn't accomplished anything. If it's going to do something, we should see it at tomorrow's open. Signals are mixed. Wednesday's pattern has the early low. We could still gap up. Signals are mixed. It's positive. We gap down, hit a lower low, closed over all the lows. Unless we gap and promptly undercut today's low, we should see higher prices tomorrow, regardless of how we close. But as negative, we have a lower target. The rally didn't clear significant highs. Declines have been impulsive, and the rally was overlapping and therefore corrective. And there's a wave count, a wave balance compatible with the leg up ending. Unless we gap up smartly, the lower MeJT target's favored to print. But that's not impossible since futures are up smartly, and if they open up smartly, the price remains on the table but not the time. Now, the recent bottom had a number of characteristics of a significant low. The failure of the market to rally significantly since then greatly reduces, doesn't eliminate, but it greatly reduces the chances we'll have a rally of consequence, and that represents a change in my thinking. Time hasn't run out, but it's pretty darn close. We can gap up and still make me look foolish here and say I threw the towel in too soon. But for right now, unless we gap up, this is pretty negative stuff to me, and I think this target will print. Just remember, futures are up and might not count, but if we don't gap up, that's my target, 38.94.93. And the picture looks a lot less rosy to me than it did when we hit the low a few days ago. And that's today's call.